Hi, home automation. Okay, no, I'm not going to do that again. Head fake. After I did the initial home automation video, I've been asked by a number of people to get more specific as to my particular version of it. Gee whiz, it can do all this great stuff, but what did you do? How does it work? What does it look like? Because that previous one was sort of abstract. It just showed a couple switches, and the rest was all concept. Okay, then, so let's get a little bit more into the weeds, as they say. I have a whiteboard. Okay, so for you techies out there, you'll recognize this as an architecture drawing. So let's start up here. There's Siri up there living in the interwebs. And she's happy to do whatever you ask her on your Apple device. Now, in order for this here is where HomeKit lives. HomeKit is the home automation system that Siri can talk to, and she requires and HomeKit requires a hub, a device that that can reach out and talk to Siri. Now that can be a HomePod, it can be an iPad. HomeKit lives on the Apple TV, and he interfaces directly. There's the Mac Mini. This is the main server, okay? On the Mac Mini lives Indigo, that funny purple-looking house thing, okay? That is a full server system, and I will show you the interface later. Indigo talks to HomeKit on the Indigo on the Mac Mini talks to HomeKit on the Apple TV using a plugin called the HomeKit Bridge. Thank you, Colorado Four-Wheeler. Shout out. And so what that allows Indigo to do is to tell HomeKit how to control stuff like the locks. The locks can't talk directly to Indigo. They talk to HomeKit. However, Indigo can talk to HomeKit, and HomeKit can control the locks. All of the devices that HomeKit can't talk to, like all of the switches, all of the sensors, motion, switches, everything like that, HomeKit it can't see any of it natively. However, this bridge here can tell HomeKit or fool HomeKit into thinking they're HomeKit devices. So that's how those two things talk to each other. This guy, Indigo, is still the master of everything. What about the final mile? The final mile is this USB cable, USB-A on one end, USB-B on the other, like your printer, talks to a little white box interface. And that white box interface plugs into the wall. And he does two things. He either uses a radio and talks to the devices, and then there's the power line interface. That's the original interface for this thing. What that means is it actually sends a signal through the power lines of the house. It uses it like a carrier wave inside there. So between both of those types, I can talk to every switch, every sensor, and all of the other plugins that Mac Mini has to other things, like turning on and off the TVs. Okay, I use a Harmony hub for two different TVs in this house. Guess what? Indigo can talk to them. So when I say turn on the basement, sorry, I had to check that Siri wasn't listening right now because she would have done it. It'll turn the TV on. And I tell her conversely to turn off the basement, she'll turn off everything. The lights, the TV, everything. Okay? So this is the general layout and the way the information flows. I tell Siri, it goes through here, and goes out there. And then it comes back again because there's a feedback mechanism. There's our architecture. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to show you the Mac Mini and that interface. And then shortly after that, I'll show you the interface itself, what Indigo looks like, or at least how I've got it configured here as how Indigo actually works. So buckle up. It's going to be a great ride. Welcome to the IT closet. There's a lot going on here. Most of it has nothing to do with the home automation system. Except this. There's the Mac Mini. And he is connected to the interface back here. This little white box that you see plugged into the wall. That's all he does. Okay, right here. All right, and then this green wire is the USB cable that plugs into the back of the Mac Mini. Right back in here. Okay. All right. Its only purpose in life the green wire is to talk to the interface. It's green because it's easy to pick out in that mess back there. Other than that, the Mac Mini is through the screen here, and let me show you the interface and how it's arranged. All right. So here's what Indigo looks like. This is the main window. It's called the home window. And it has this left pane here, which controls the main navigation. You have your devices, triggers, schedules, action groups, and control pages. The important thing is the first thing you do when you get this program and you get your devices and you hook this program to the interface that I showed you is you add the devices to Indigo. I have this very meticulous organization by floor. 0 floor, of course, is basement. 1 to 2 is main stairs. 0 to 1 is back stairs, that kind of thing. And then 2nd floor, and then we have exterior front, exterior rear, and then garage. In each one are the devices. So if I look in the IT closet, which is where we were before, only this one is actually HomeKit, is the only one that HomeKit is aware of. This one I've got labeled as no HomeKit. There are certain things that I don't want HomeKit to see and therefore control. So if I say turn off the basement, it doesn't do anything like this. Like, I don't want it to turn off the cable modem. Okay, I don't want it to turn off the main router, the one that actually distributes the IP addresses inside the house. I don't want it to touch those at all. However, I do want them automated, so Indigo still does it, but these are based on schedules, not anything that I want Siri to talk to. How do I do this? Well, where are you? This is my own organization here. Here's the HomeKit bridge. Okay, this is what tells of the devices that Indigo can control here, sends them on to HomeKit. And so here they are. All these devices here: bathroom main light, shower light, closet, family room. There's the Harmony hubs right there. Okay, so I can say watch TV or something like that. This forwards the Indigo devices to HomeKit and makes them visible to Siri. Okay, and I can add and remove them as I see fit. There is a limit of 100 devices. Frankly, 99 devices that I can forward to HomeKit. But this is the guts of it. Again, thanks to Colorado Four-Wheeler for that nice little super handy thing. Anyway, so these are the devices. How do I make sensors or variables? A variable is it this way or is it that way? Is it daylight true or false? All right. So for example, if I go into the variable list and I see is daylight false? Why am I going there? What's a variable? All a variable is something that contains a little bit of information. Okay. The best way to do it is it true false. Okay. 1 or 0, yes, no, that kind of thing. So true false. Is daylight right now as I'm recording this? It's 8:17 p.m. So the sun has gone down. That means is daylight is false. Okay. Well, there are other things that I can have in variables. Let's see. Scene status. Dinner time, good night, lounge, quiet time. Okay, well, what I've done, and this is how I can tell Siri and HomeKit the state of certain things, is by putting that state into a variable. So let's open HomeKit here, and you can see what I'm talking about. Here's the house, the main page of it. Okay, this is a variable inside of an Indigo that I've turned into a device to send to Siri. So this is how I get Siri to see what's going on in the house. More than just simply turn a light on, turn a light off. Those are easy. What is difficult is having a variable, a state of the house being set. So here's quiet time. You can tell none of these scenes are active right now. So if we go back into into the scenes, see, false, 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 false. Okay. These are, whoops, don't want to click on that. That's the home security. That's the security cameras. These are, and just variables that I've pushed from HomeKit, from Indigo to HomeKit to give visibility as to what's going on in the house. Like, I've got 2 things going on with the locks.
This is HomeKit visible. Indigo's not seeing this at all. Okay, this is straight from HomeKit to the locks. However, I do want Indigo to know what's going on with the locks, so I've created a variable here, a virtual device that is in here. Virtual for HomeKit is my bucket. So I've got these are, blanks for things I haven't done yet. But these are away states. This is the away protocol. It does something when we leave the house. These are the states that tells who's away from the house. The cool thing is when all of us are away, it activates this tool here, okay? These are the variables I was just showing you there, right? These guys. So what I've done is I've just created these virtual devices. Indigo treats them as real devices, but they just are software. HomeKit doesn't know the difference. It's been forwarded to HomeKit inside of that plugin that I showed you. I know, this is like drinking from the fire hose. There's a whole lot of stuff that I'm throwing at you right now. And that is the most in the reads that I can get when it comes to getting Siri to talk to Indigo and backwards and the other direction. As for the rest of the interface of HomeKit, of Indigo, it's pretty straightforward. These are triggers. This, if this, then that, right? If this happens, then do something, okay? Garage door, all right? If the trigger, on successful closure, set a variable, okay? Lighting, automatic off kind of things, okay? Schedules are just as simple, daily routines, right? Good morning, unlock the back door at a certain time, because with that, remember the other video about the sliding back door, sunrise, turn the porch light on at night. And by the way, I do that at sunset. There's that variable that changes every day. Maintenance, bounce the entire IP network 3 a.m. on the first Monday of every month. So it just went, actually, it'll go tomorrow morning. 4/6. So those are schedules. Now, action groups are buckets of stuff to happen at the same time. So if I want to say lighting, if it's dinner time, inside dinner time, set the scene for dinner time, set the variables this way. See, it's a collection of things to do. It's a collection of events. So this is the Indigo interface, and this is on all the time on that Mac Mini. You're looking at the Mac Mini's interface right now. So there we go. I have to, let's see, event log, set this back up to the way it normally is, and there we go.
So there you have it. I hope between the technical architecture diagram on the whiteboard I showed you and how the interface physically looks between the computer and the wall, and the interface of Indigo itself, again, how I've configured it, gives you a clear picture as to how to use Siri with a home automation system, with a full blast server for a very complete home automation setup. One thing that's important to note, remember I say Siri here lives in the internet, or as we'd like to say interwebs. I can do all of this stuff without being at home. So that's really cool. And it's very handy to be able to tell Siri when I'm at work, whenever I get back to work, because at least the time that I recorded this video, we're all in lockdown because of the coronavirus. Anywhere in the world that I have connectivity with my phone, I can just tell Siri, oh, look, the flashlight's on. I can tell Siri to do something, and because I've set it up in Indigo and set and forwarded those devices to Siri, she'll do them for me. But also I have to be careful, because if you're like my son, you tell Siri to turn everything on, everything turns on. All the TVs, the garage door opens, kaboom. I mean, the compressor in the garage turned on. It was, well, let me put it this way. When that happened, I was at work, and I started getting notifications out the yin-yang to just tell me what I had to call home. I said, did somebody turn everything on? Yes. So she will do what you ask her. It's pretty neat. Anyway, I hope this helps. Have a great time putting yours together. Till next time.